there, I'm Shawna Robins, founder and CEO of Third Spark, and today I am doing an Authority Magazine interview with Johanna Mosca. She is the author of YogaLife, 10 Steps to Freedom, and Teen Triumph, 10 Ways to a Winning Life, and also Sedona Soul Stretch, 10 Ancient Yoga Principles to Heighten Consciousness and Performance, along with other books and CDs. Her passion is guiding guests inward as she shares her lifelong study and practice of yoga, meditation, and shamanic energy clearing. Johanna, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Shawna.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about gratitude, which is, I think, one of the most important practices that people can have. I'm a sleep expert and I help women who struggle with sleep. One of the first things I teach them is to focus on gratitude. So I really want to hear from you about how you feel that gratitude can really help to improve our life, our mental health, our well-being, and just our overall happiness level.
Okay. Did you want me to start speaking right now, or were you going to do a bio or something?
I already did that. So you can just
Oh,
dive right
just
in.
me.
You can just dive right in into all the beautiful things
Okay,
about gratitude.
diving
Love it.
right in.
Yeah.
Gratitude. First, let me express my gratitude, Shawna, for this opportunity and my the chance to share with people out there what I've been experiencing in a lifetime of learning to be more grateful for my life. Okay, and in the article, I talked about 5 different ways to approach reminding yourself to be grateful. Well, that's the first thing. Everybody out there, all of you, you know what to do as much as I know what to do to keep your own well being in shape. However, we don't always remember when we're hit with the kids and the tasks and the jobs and everything else. So it's a matter about remembering, but it's also a matter about deciding. I came up with this because years ago I had a situation in which I was jealous of something. And I made a decision. I am not going to be jealous anymore. Believe it or not, the mind is a very strong thing. And it worked. So I do the same thing with gratitude. I'm deciding to be grateful today. Okay. And other things I wrote about were techniques that you could use. Very much a fan of journaling. My background is a PhD in writing research and theory, so I'm a writer. And it's so much fun to write down, but to keep it away from complaint. Write down what's working, what's not working, and what you intend to shift. And kind of practicing gratitude is shifting so that you can be contented with the way that your life is, the way that it is and is not. So you might not have everything you want in this moment in time, but the idea is to be grateful to the divine for whatever you have in your life and say to yourself, I'm planning to shift this. I'm planning for seeds. If you don't have a relationship this year, you want one next year. If your income is kind of stretched this year and you're planning on more abundance next year. So part of gratitude is to make yourself contented with what's here now. Okay, then you're clear. You can notice what needs to be shifting, and then you could take steps to shift that in the future. Mm-hmm. Trying to think of what else I'd like to tell you as little tidbits. A lot of stress during the holidays. Just to remember to be grateful for what you have and be compassionate with yourself and everybody else, because these are really difficult times. And you don't have to be the perfect mother or the perfect wife. You don't have to be perfect. You do the best you can to share love on these holidays. And one of the gifts you can give them is that you're doing fine, that you are contented and you're grateful for everybody. Well, the best gift that people give me is when they give me a gift of their time, but quality time. Not irritable time dumping on me, but quality time, spending time with me. And I'm always very, very grateful for that. So let people know what makes you happy and what makes you most grateful. A couple of the techniques I mentioned besides journaling was Shawna asked me earlier to mention the Insight Timer. It's a website, insighttimer.com. And it's just a timer that you can set with music and whatever kind of bells you like at whatever interval you like. And right now I've got mine set for 25 minutes. And I have a bell ringing every 5 minutes, three gongs. And it just gives me a chance to drop in a little deeper and make sure I'm sitting there. Because other times I might get up before the 25 minutes. So I'm just recommending that to you as a tool. And another tool is heart math, which we described in the article, which is about, shifting your thought to something you appreciate, slowing your breath down, and staying in the present moment, getting into your heart instead of your head. So these are some tools. And just when I go to bed at night, I say what I'm grateful for. And I wake up in the morning and say that I'm going to be grateful for this day, another day of living and loving and being with your family. So this is what I offer you. And these qualities are described in our Authority magazine article. And I also share them in depth in my book, Sedona Soul Stretch, 10 Ancient Yoga Principles to Heighten Consciousness and Performance. I've been taking yoga courses for decades, more than 3 decades now, several trainings, accomplishments, etc. Nothing has affected me as much as these 10 principles, 5 principles to make yourself the best you can be inside, and 5 principles to get along successfully and socially. And they're very easy, and they're things we learned in kindergarten. But I wrote a book about them with examples of little Sedona vignettes and things that happen with me and my clients for you to enjoy. And speaking of me and my clients, what happened was the pandemic, we all had to shift things. I was not taking my clients on yoga hikes. There were no clients. So I just decided the Red Rock State Park, which I love, was still open and nobody was in there. So I started to go there every day. And because of the pandemic and because of my fears, I said every prayer I knew, starting way back with my Catholic prayers, all the way to my shamanic medicine wheel and everything in between that I learned. And I would just connect with the trees and the rocks and the path and whatever I saw in the creek. I had a mud turtle I named Marty and the hummingbirds. And the last principle is to surrender to higher power. And there's no better way to surrender it all to a higher power and be grateful for your higher consciousness than to do a prayer walk, whatever yours might be. Could be around the block. The idea of being out in nature, sometimes you get the sunshine and sometimes you see the critters and the deer come the park where I go, and I always feel blessed by them. So these are examples, and that's in chapter 10 of my book. And the 10 principles are a way to live life. There's something wonderful to teach to your children and your colleagues. I'm looking to share this in offices with teams. And I welcome you if you come to Sedona. Come on a yoga hike with me, or let me do a shamanic energy clearing for you. I'm here and I want to connect with as many of you as I can. And right now, I really wish you all of life's goodness, that you may be grateful for the people in your life who are treasures and whatever God is blessing you these days. So lots of love to you and warm wishes for happy, grateful holidays and the most grateful new year, deciding every day of the new year that you are going to be grateful.
Wow.
Also, one last thing.
My heart is so open just listening to you with this. I have so many questions, but I mean, everything you keep saying is so beautiful and resonates so nicely that I want to let you keep going and talking. It's wonderful.
One last thing, if I may throw it in.
Sure.
I have a January retreat, January 23rd through 26th, the weekend in Sedona. Same retreat's going to happen June 20th for the summer equinox, and it's also going to happen in November for a full moon. So if you want to come for a weekend in Sedona,
Oh,
I
and
will
who
share
doesn't want
these,
that?
I will share these principles with you in the magnificent red rocks with
Sounds incredible.
yoga of any level, beginners to experts. So you're welcome to join me. Please do.
Thank you so much. And we'll definitely put the information for that at the end of this. But I have a few questions. So I know when you
Great.
were speaking on gratitude, and a lot of it touched on connection with divine or prayer. What about for people that maybe are more agnostic, people that are maybe not so connected to a higher power? Can they still practice gratitude? And if so, what do you recommend for them as well?
That's a wonderful question. Okay. The higher power is Mother Nature. The higher power is the stars in the sky. Okay. Agnostic has nothing to do with it. You just look up in the sky at night and you know that there's an orchestration in the universe. It doesn't have to be a god or a saint or an angel or any particular religion.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, in yoga, they teach us that the divine is the pulse of energy flowing through all of life. It's the pulse of energy in the leaf, in the tree, in the creek, in the stars, in the sun, in the moon, clouds, and in us, each of us. So, excellent question. Does that answer it well enough?
Yeah, that's wonderful. It just gives guidance to people who might feel a bit like they can't connect in gratitude because there's not, a spiritual practice or a divine practice. But I think that that's really, really helpful. As far as yoga
A
goes,
little scary because if you don't believe it, you're not going to get it.
mm,
All this quantum physics stuff, you,
hmm
you believe. So maybe jumpstart it,
mm,
mock it, you get it. Well, if there is some orchestration here, it's time for me to receive. It's just a thought.
yeah, I like that. I know from my work and my writing and my research that gratitude can literally rewire your brain for more happiness. I know that that's been proven. So I adopted a gratitude practice after a cancer diagnosis. That was something that helped get me through the treatment and the recovery, and has kind of stuck with me since. But it's not something that I do all the time. What do you think about people using gratitude kind of at times in their life? Do you feel like it's better to just be committed to using it every single day, or is it something that you can just sort of ebb and flow with?
All of the above. Okay. Um, Especially when you're in crisis. Um, I call it going from gripe to grace. Gratitude is the vehicle, GGG, from gripe to grace. Okay. Um, it's nice if you can do it every day. It helps you to live there a little bit more and really mock this contentment. There's things in my life that I'm not thrilled with. Did I tell you that yet? I'm not trying to sit here like somebody who's on a mountain and everything is cozy perfecto for me, because it's not. All right. Um, but the prayer I have for whoever's around is to like myself and my life. And I give that to you. Gratitude is learning to like yourself, just the way you are and are not. I know you want to lose 5 pounds. That's okay. Like yourself the way you are. I like myself and I like my life. Are there things I want to change, shift? Yes. Am I planting seeds for that? Yes. Did I answer this question? The question was to do the gratitude thing all the time
Yeah,
or
I think
just
it's
like
wonderful. Yeah.
whenever you remember.
Gripe to grace. That is sticking in my head. That's going to be my new mantra as we go through the holiday season, right? Catching the gripes and turning them into grace with gratitude.
Exactly. Thank
Yeah.
you. And I have a friend named Quinta who's passed, a neurolinguistic programmer. She taught me to say good notice. So when I notice I'm not practicing one of these 10 principles, like if I'm not being compassionate to somebody, I can stop and I can shift and I can say, good notice, shift. But the idea when you shift, you never blame yourself.
Mm.
You don't blame yourself for whining. Everybody has to whine sometimes. I have an announcement. I call my friend. I said, I want to whine. Can I have 2 minutes just to whine? And then I'll get into uplifting my energy. Because
Mm.
sometimes we need to.
Mm.
Sometimes we just want to be heard. And I came up with a new thing that I just want to share with you. I made a decision. I'm not complaining anymore. I invite the audience to do that. I'm not complaining. So I kept telling my friend when I didn't like something, I just went for 10 days in Louisiana with my best friend. And I said to her, I'm not complaining. I'm just giving a report. So she bought me a towel that says, I'm not complaining, just giving a report. No, it's fine. It's like if something doesn't work for you, be realistic. You don't have to always be la-di-da. Um, you know, sometimes the yoga people say, oh, it's all going to work out. It's in the highest good without going to, I feel rotten about this, which you have to feel first. And then you can go to, I'm surrendering it and it's all going to work out for the highest good. So I just wanted to share that with you. Don't complain, just report.
Yeah, love that. We all need to get those towels made. Super. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I've learned a lot and I really appreciate it. And I want to hear, how do people connect with you and how can they find out about your books and your retreats and all these wonderful things that you offer in Sedona? What's your website?
You can try Yoga Life Net, and I have people remember that because yoga's your life net, yogalife.net. And the other one is my name, Johanna Mosca, PhD at Gmail. Excuse me, Johanna Mosca, PhD.com. And you're welcome to email me if I spurred any questions or something that you want to share with me. Like Shawna, I'm here to serve, truly.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.